Rechte haben. Als nächste hat jetzt das Wort Frau in 't Veld für die Fraktion der Allianz der Liberalen und Demokraten für Europa für 4 Minuten.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I would like to start by paying tribute to the rapporteur, who I think did a magnificent job, even if we didn't always agree. He was extremely patient and open to cooperation, and I'm very grateful for that. I think it is very important that for once and for all we make our position clear. I am a bit worried to see that the report that we have adopted in committee has been interpreted in so many different ways. There have been press releases jubilant saying finally the European Parliament has called for a framework directive, and there have been press releases saying finally the European Parliament has rejected the framework directive for once and for all. I think we should get away from this situation whereby we have watered down compromises that can be interpreted in any possible direction, and for my group I can state we do not want a framework directive. We do not want a one size fits all solution for Europe, precisely because we want subsidiarity. But what is subsidiarity? Subsidiarity means that the national and local authorities can define their services of general interest and decide on how they are organised and financed. Subsidiarity does not mean automatic exemption from the market rules. So there are two kinds of subsidiarity we are talking about here. Now, I've been listening very carefully to what Mr. Barroso said, and again, I think you left some room for interpretation there, but I would like to interpret it as if Mr. Barroso too wants targeted and concrete solutions for real existing problems, because that's another recommendation I would like to give to this House. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If there is no problem, we do not need legislation, but we need solutions for real existing problems. And I've been working for a local authority, so I know what the real existing problems are. There are very legitimate concerns by local authorities, but we have to confess that there is also a tendency towards protectionism, and we'll have to find the right balance here. I think we should also get away from the ideological debate, or at least be honest and admit that there is a certain degree of ideology here. And I think some people very legitimately feel that the state or the public authority should also be the provider of the services. Well, personally I agree with my colleague Mr. Hökmark that the market can be an excellent provider of excellent services. There have been sectors which are liberalised, and that didn't mean that more people have been excluded from access to those services. No, quite the contrary. Many services have come within reach of many more people. I think that is extremely social. Now, market is not a jungle. A market has rules, because if there are no rules, it's not a market. Any market, even the most simple market on the market square, has rules, and I think that is exactly what we mean by the social the social market economy we have in Europe. I think we need to recognise the diversity between the member states and allow the member states to decide for themselves what they call services of general interest. And then finally, Chair, I think we should also not make an attempt at trying to define what services of general interest and general economic interest are, because the word economic applies not to the nature of the service itself, but to the way in which it is provided. To give you an example, water, for example, everybody will recognise that that is of general interest, but it may be provided in a purely commercial way. So I don't think that we should lose ourselves in a senseless debate on the differences between of general interest and general economic interest, and the only interest we should be looking at here is the interest of our citizens and the consumers. Thank you.